Western script, Eastern reality. This is the algorithm. Rewrite the rules. By the summer of 2026, the world thought the East had already won. As Eastern power grids covered Eurasia and the dollar gasped for air under rare earth embargoes, the West seemed to be fading into history. But everyone forgot who designed the chessboard in the first place. When the laws of physics cannot defeat an opponent, the West decides to revoke physics. Trump is no longer fighting for factories. He has decided to format the global rulebook. A strike far dirtier than war, more desperate than a blackout. The dimensional strike has begun. Trump has unleashed the most seductive poison in the history of geopolitics, the Dollar Amnesty decree. He announced that any nation returning to the dollar system and abandoning Eastern payment protocols within 90 days would have their entire US-denominated national debt erased. This isn't trade. It's a nuclear strike on the global creditor system. Trillions in debt held by the East were turned into meaningless digital ghosts overnight.
Listen, folks, I know you're hurting. The East has cheap power. They have fast machines. But the money you owe me, that's real. Now I'm giving you a chance, a magic trick. Just nod your head, flip the switch on that Eastern terminal, and come back to me. All those trillions you owe? Boom, gone, erased. You aren't debtors anymore. You're free men. Those IOUs the East is holding, let them fold them into paper airplanes. Believe me, this is the most beautiful deal I've ever made. The East has the factories, but I have the eraser. Who are you picking?
Donald, you are dismantling the very foundation of the credit you built. Debt amnesty. This isn't generosity. It is a public humiliation of the global contract. You think erasing debt saves your economy? You are merely overdosing on the last of America's credibility. Those allies you are deceiving. If they betray us for profit today, they will betray you for fear tomorrow. You have turned the dollar into a weapon of plunder, and weapons always rust. We do not hold IOUs. We hold physical output and labor. When your people need bread and your dollar is just scrap paper, you will find that credit cannot be bought with an eraser.
Credibility? Can you eat credibility? In my dictionary, only winners have credibility. My allies are lining up to sign. They'd rather have a promise of zero debt than your cold, hard power lines. Those trillions in reserves you're sitting on, they're trash now. I won't redeem a single cent. You won the physics, but I won the accounting. That's capitalism, sweetheart. You're fired.
The move was as sinister as it was effective. Overnight, mid-sized nations previously tethered to the Eastern supply chain began to defect. While the East's industrial power remained immense, they found themselves playing against a dealer who no longer followed the rules. With one stroke of financial default, Trump has engineered a global credit isolation, leaving the East a titan stranded on a deserted island of overcapacity. The move was as sinister as it was effective. Overnight, mid-sized nations previously tethered to the Eastern supply chain began to defect. While the East's industrial power remained immense, they found themselves playing against a dealer who no longer followed the rules. With one stroke of financial default, Trump has engineered a global credit isolation, leaving the East a titan stranded on a deserted island of overcapacity.
They thought they could rule the world just by building a few power plants? Naive. So naive, it's sad. Your automated factories, your self-driving cars, even those shiny computing centers you're so proud of. Every single line of critical code belongs to me. I sent a little update, a very, very small packet of data. And now, All those multi-billion-dollar chips are just expensive paperweights. Without my permission, your machines can't even brew a cup of coffee. You have the electricity, but I have the switch. Now who's the house and who's the gambler?
Donald, you are gambling with the survival of civilization itself. By locking down computing power, you are severing the evolutionary path of humanity. You think you are locking my factories, but you are actually suffocating global innovation. Yes, you wrote the code, but I made the hardware, the materials, and the packaging. When I completely cut off the supply of materials to your Silicon Valley, when your data centers collapse because they lack rare earth components, your code will be nothing but a string of characters with nowhere to run. You are dragging the whole world into the grave just to keep your hegemony.
I don't care. If I have to win, I'd rather the world go back to the age of the typewriter. It's called winning at any cost. My scientists have already built secret computing hubs in Greenland, far away from your supply chains. We're ready for a total digital segregation. You play with your physics, I'll play digital God.
As the struggle for physical space reached a fever pitch, Trump flipped his hidden card, Greenland. In 2026, the US passed the Greenland Defense Act, effectively turning this frozen land into the West's final redoubt. It's not just about untapped oil and rare earths. It's about controlling the faucet of the future Arctic shipping routes. The West is attempting to build an independent ecosystem here, strangling the strategic throat of the Northern Hemisphere.
They play games in the South China Sea. I play for the big stakes in the Arctic. Greenland is the best real estate deal I've ever made. They laughed when I said I'd buy it, remember? Nobody's laughing now. It's got ice, it's got oil, and it's the coolest place on Earth to run an AI server farm. I'm building an ice wall. Eastern ships want to use this route? No way. You want to bypass me? Impossible. I've closed the back door to the Northern Hemisphere. Your population is aging, your markets are shrinking, but I've occupied the virgin land of the future.
Greenland? Donald, you think buying a glacier can stop the tide of history? Your people can barely afford their heating bills, yet you pour money into the Arctic snow. Your ice wall cannot stop electromagnetic waves, nor can it stop our integration with the global south. You have locked yourself in an expensive refrigerator and are celebrating because you think you won the summer. This is not strategy. It is the desperate obsession of a man who refuses to let go.
When the East defined the global inorganic world, steel, power, and chips, Trump decided to seize back control of the organic world. This is round 10, genetic sovereignty. In 2026, the West abruptly enacted the Global Bioproperty Traceability Act. Every biological product based on Western foundational sequences, from GMO seeds and hybrid rice parent lines to monoclonal antibodies for terminal illnesses, was embedded with a digital time lock. The West intended to prove that you might own the land, but if you don't have the code, the land will grow nothing.
East, you think having hundreds of millions of acres of farmland means food security? That's cute. Every single seed in those fields has a genetic sequence written by ME. I just changed one number on a server, and now your crops either won't reproduce or they'll have zero nutritional value. I'm not fighting a trade war anymore. I'm fighting a war against your stomach. Your people need to eat, and they need medicine. If you don't hand over the power grids of Southeast Asia, I'll send your agriculture back to the 19th century. It's called patenting life. This is the ultimate art of the deal. I decide who lives and who doesn't.
Donald, you have finally crossed the red line. Using the survival of the human species as a bargaining chip is no longer hegemony. It is a crime against humanity. You think locking patents will starve us? You forget that the people of this land are masters at rebuilding civilization from ruins. We will launch the Omni Backup Initiative. It will be painful, and we will lose much. But the day we re-decode life, your genetic patents will be buried in the trash heap of history. You have won a temporary threat, but you have lost your status as a civilized being.
If the genetic blockade targeted the flesh, Round 11's digital Great Segregation targeted the soul. In the autumn of 2026, Trump activated Clean Network 2.0. This wasn't just a firewall. It was a total severance at the physical and protocol layers. The West disconnected the East from the global root servers and launched a new internet based on the Greenland satellite system. The world officially split into two digital parallel universes, unseeing, unhearing, and uncommunicating.
I'm tired of hearing your propaganda, and I'm tired of seeing your brainwashing short videos. I'm putting you on mute, permanently. From today, the Western web will be pure, safe, and free from Eastern algorithms. My voters see what I want them to see. We've cut the physical lines, and I've cut the logic. East, enjoy yourself on your little island. Without my global distribution platforms, your products are just high-quality junk with no one to buy them. You live in the past while I own the information throat of the world.
You are personally destroying the original intent of the internet, freedom and exchange. This digital segregation will only breed misunderstanding and blind spots. When our peoples can no longer see each other's lives through the web, nothing remains but prejudice and hostility. You think you've built a pure kingdom, but you've actually built a hollow echo chamber. History will prove that closed systems lead only to entropy and chaos. By severing the intellectual connection with 1.4 billion people, exhales sharply. The true decline of the West has begun.
In the winter of 2026, Trump completed the largest and most sinister art of the deal of his career. Facing tens of trillions in unpayable debt, he didn't choose to borrow more. He chose to format. He declared the old dollar officially terminated, replaced by a new currency backed by Greenland energy reserves and satellite computing authority. This was a global wealth purge. The massive dollar debt held by the East was turned into unredeemable digital ruins overnight.
Listen up. This is what I call the reset. The rules have changed. All that green scrap paper you've been hoarding for decades, the old dollar, you can use it to tile your floors or burn it for heat, I don't care. I have the new money now, the new rules, and these rules run on my satellites and my Greenland ice sheet. East, you're strong, you worked hard, you made a lot of stuff, but you played by the rules. The rules are set by the winner, and I just smashed the chessboard. Now, if anyone wants to do business with me, you use my new coin. You've been formatted. That's the price of admission. That's how a winner plays.
Donald, this is not winning. This is self-immolation. You think that by formatting your debt, you can format the debt of history. You have personally buried the dollar hegemony, but you have also buried the very concept of the contract that built civilization for 200 years. Yes, our dollars are temporarily void, but our factories, our raw materials, our energy grids, and the physical labor of 1.4 billion people remain real. You won the virtual numbers, but you lost the physical world. When the world realizes you are a gambler who flips the table whenever he loses, your new coin will be nothing more than a bigger bubble. We will no longer play this game with you. We will build a system without a dealer, a system of pure physical reality. The game of life and death has only just begun.
Episode 2 concludes. Through madness and scorched earth counterattacks, the West has clawed back half a step from the brink of collapse. Trump traded the destruction of the rules for the survival of hegemony. But the world is no longer the same. In the winter of 2026, physical power and strategic cunning have reached a fragile, terrifying equilibrium. Who won? Perhaps no one. We have witnessed the collapse of the old world and the arrival of a colder, more divided era, the age of great segregation.
Hey, did you see that format? Beautiful! That is the victory of a madman. The Western counterattack is just getting started. You haven't seen my best moves yet. If you want to see what final black tech the East uses to strike back, or what crazy deal I come up with next, you have to like this video and subscribe right now. I'm telling you, the next one is going to be huge. It's the real apocalypse.
Madness wins for a moment, but reality defines the end. The second half of this game will be the final reckoning of physical laws against virtual rules. If you want to see the direction of the next 100 years, share this with those who are still dreaming, those who think the old rules still matter. Comment below, how should the East strike back against Trump's formatting? The most brilliant strategy will appear in the next episode.
Comment. I'll be reading. Tell me if you love my new dollar. See you in the next one. It's going to be a great, strong episode. Bye.
Fate cannot be formatted.